everyone, welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Go Local News Editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for tuning in this Friday afternoon as we kick off news, politics, and sports. Very excited to be featuring a number of athletes, coaches, and organizers with New England Distance. So, of course, want to kick off with Nick Hayward. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Kate, for having us on Go Local Live. It's great to be here.
I appreciate it because the club is so talented and so many individuals making this the success that it is, both through competition and the success of the runners themselves, but then coaching in the community. So tell folks a little bit about the mission of New England Distance, and then we'll talk about some of the athletes we'll be talking about.
Sure thing, Kate. So Any Distance has a dual mission where we focus on giving opportunities for youth to participate in the sport of track and field, and we also give opportunities to elite athletes once they graduate from college to continue to train and chase their Olympic dreams. We've got 4 of the 10 athletes on the team with us, and each of one of them have been assigned to work with a middle school in either Woonsocket or Providence.
So talk with us a little bit about that. Let's start with the community role, sort of what it means for these young folks to have exposure to the sport and then such high-level, energetic, committed individuals being there to sort of nurture them as they explore this as a potential for an avenue for athletics.
Yeah, great. So when we started the program in 2012, I got contacted by George Nasuti, who was then the athletic director for Woonsocket High School, and he told me something that was surprising, that they had to cancel all of their middle school sports in Woonsocket due to budget cuts. So the middle school kids really had no opportunity to play organized sports. And he asked if we would help, and we were happy to help out. And we suddenly got a sponsorship from Performance Physical Therapy, our sponsor, that helped us fund cross-country middle school sports in Woonsocket. And so we had our athletes, who are elite athletes competing at the national level, come in and create programming for these kids. And I'll let them talk a little bit about their experiences with it, because it's been great for the kids. That they look up at these kids like these spandex-clad superheroes, right? And it's way exciting for these kids to have such great role models. We expanded out of Woonsocket the next year, and we now work with the Providence Public Schools as well. So we had about 350 kids working with us in our middle school programs in Woonsocket and Providence.
Now, as you mentioned, this is a 501c3, which benefits both the youth and community and these runners who, after college, are competing at the highest levels, but again, need that support because right out of school, trying to piece it together. Talk a little bit about the community support in general for New England Distance, as you said, sponsorships as well. How does this, how do you make the program run?
Yeah, so people think about professional athletes as being super rich, right? You make all the Patriots, they're making millions of dollars each. That's not true in the sport of running. So the average, and that's the median runner in track and field and road running, makes about $5,000 a year from their sport. So what happens to athletes is when they leave college, the rug gets pulled out from under them, and they really need another 3 or 4 years of hard training to reach their potential, to see what they can do. So we've created a community of like-minded people who love the sport of running. We have a great board that supports us. We have individual donations from the community, and you can just go right to anydistance.org and give a donation. All that money goes straight towards our programming for youth and programming for these athletes.
And you've had some success at the school level as well with some of these young students, again, really sort of taking to the sport both in the regional and broader levels.
Yeah, so we had, the Woonsocket team went from having nothing to winning a regional competition in track and field. I'd be happy to let some of the athletes talk about some of their accomplishments when you bring them on.
Very good. Well, as I said, wanted you to give that overview before we feature the athletes/coaches. Anything else you want to share with folks, Nick, about New England Distance while I have you here before we welcome them on?
Yeah, so I just want to talk about why we put this program together. So we started in 2012, and in 2012, there were 5 Providence residents that competed at the London Olympics in track and field. So that's a huge strength of this community. Is we've got great runners, we build great runners, it's a great running community. So we wanted to build off that strength, and I feel like we've done that in a way that supports everybody at all levels, the elite, the youth, and then we've also started a community running club that starts in Cumberland, and I think Aaron can talk a little bit about that when you have him
Aaron's
on.
going to tell us a little bit about that. So you kind of stole my thunder from that last question. I mean, pound for pound, New England and Rhode Island in particular, really for the smallest state in the union, we are so well represented on the national stage, international stage for elite distance runners.
Yeah, we punch above our weight here, Kate.
100%. We're going to hear right from the athletes and coaches themselves. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with Katie Spratford and Aaron Dinzio. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Go Local News editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us at this noontime as we feature New England Distance. We'd like to thank Nick Haber for kicking off and giving us an overview of the program. But as he said, getting really down to the boots on the ground with the elite runners and coaches. So we have Katie Spratford and Aaron Dinzio. Thank you for joining us today and your busy schedules to come on in and tell us all about New England Distance, working with the youth, and of course where you are with running right now. So Katie, I'm going to start with you. Talk a little bit about what it's been like to be in the community in Woonsocket and coaching these kids.
Yep, so I joined New England Distance in 2013. I started the Woonsocket Middle School program in 2014 and have been coaching there ever since. And it's been really incredible. Running, to me, I've always wanted to give back to the sport that has given so much to me. So it's really important to me to give back to these kids and give them an opportunity to develop life skills through athletics. So it's been really awesome.
And speaking of giving back to the community, Aaron, I want to talk with you a little bit about getting into a community run club, now looking at the adult side of things as well.
Yeah, so that was my kind of first assignment when I joined the team with New England Distance, and we're 2 years in now. We've gotten to shape this community running club. We meet up in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and we're anywhere from 60 members to 80 members depending on the season, and it's been very beneficial for me in a lot of ways to learn from different people how they train, how, maybe lack of experience with training, or if they're veterans, just to take different steps with their running and gain a lot of value from it. And it's something that I can then take back for myself and add to my own running and my own training. A lot of experience, so it's good.
And Nick and I were talking again about the talent that is in New England Distance that represents Rhode Island on the national and international stage. He says, as we know, or as most folks know, punching well above our weight for our tiny little state in the union. But want to talk with both of you about being that elite athlete. And, to the average person who might not know what goes into it between both the running, taking care of your body, all of that. So Katie, tell us a little bit of some highlights in 2018, what we expect in 19, and how much are you running a week right now?
So right now I'm averaging about 85 miles a week. Sounds like a lot. But most recently, this past weekend, I qualified for my 5th U.S. team, so I'll be heading to Trinidad next week, actually, to compete and represent the U.S. On an international stage, and then after that, we'll gear up. Everything will be going towards 2020 trials, so, hopefully qualify for that.
So tell us a little bit about the distances you're at and sort of hopes and expectations for this coming season.
Sure, yeah. So my goal is to start going up in distances, maybe get in some half marathons, qualify for the Olympic trials and the marathon, and also really focus in on the 10K on the track, so hopefully qualify for the outdoor national championships coming up in July.
Now, when is Trinidad and Tobago?
So that'll be next Saturday, February 16th.
And when are you heading down?
I leave Thursday, Valentine's Day, actually.
Oh my goodness, the love of the sport, traveling down there. We're going to keep close watch on you down there.
Thank
and
you.
Wish you all the best
Thank
representing
you.
us. And Aaron, tell us a little bit about what 18 was for you and what 19 has in store.
Yeah, so 2019 is kind of a comeback year. 2018, I spent a lot of the year recovering from injury that was somewhat debilitating to my career, and was just kind of keeping it together for the most part. But very healthy now, training at kind of full go, and I'm very similar to Katie, looking to qualify for the U.S. Championships in the 10K, knock some time off my PRs, and get out there and really just compete well. Maybe take a stab at a half marathon to try and qualify for the Olympic trials, but 2020 will be all about the Olympic trials. So.
And so what does it mean to have that community of a New England Distance and the other runners here that, you're a family, if you will, and especially going through, an injury and having folks around for support and kind of pulling through? I mean, how big was that, Aaron, having the team at hand?
Yeah, so, training at this level is a massive commitment, and having 5, 6, 7 people that you can kind of lean on when, times are tough, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it doable. That they keep their goals, high, and you want to kind of meet, your expectation for yourself along with them, and it allows you to kind of keep progressing, even though you might not be progressing physically. You can progress mentally all the time. So, keeping that at the forefront has been very easy with great teammates. So I'm very proud and very happy and very fortunate to have that for sure.
And Katie, tell us a little bit about the secrets of the success. Why is Rhode Island and New England Distance so successful?
Kind of going off what Aaron said, I think that we have one of the best support systems around. We have an incredible coaching staff. We have an incredible medical staff through PPT, Performance Physical Therapy. They take really good care of us. So we just have a really, really good support system backing us up and allowing us to chase after our goals full force.
Well, the future is certainly bright for distance running here in Rhode Island and beyond. Again, thanks to New England Distance and Katie Spratford and Aaron Dinzio in the community, in Woonsocket, in Cumberland with the adults. I appreciate your taking the time to come in here. Again, let viewers know more about it. Of course, we're going to be writing links after the fact, especially keeping an eye on Katie at the championships in Trinidad and Tobago. And don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with our next runners and coaches here in the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Go Local News editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us this Friday afternoon. We'd like to thank Ray Rickman for kicking off with his big view. And would like to thank the athletes, coaches, and organizers of New England Distance coming in to tell us about the program, their running, and their involvement in the community. So I want to thank Nick Haber, I want to thank Katie Spratford and Aaron Dinzio, and now I want to thank Henry Sterling and Brian Crimmins. Thank you guys for coming in today. I appreciate it, and I love how you're repping you got the logos and everything. So, if you've heard the previous interview, you kind of want to talk about your journeys to New England Distance, a little bit where you're at in your career, and then your involvement with the community.
Sure, I started New England Distance in 2014 after graduating college. Similar to Katie, I was up in Woonsocket with that program. Actually started as an after-school physical education teacher, and then we sort of transitioned to coaching the cross-country track teams up there, and it's been really great to see the success the kids have had. And personally, I've just been each year just trying to continue to grow as an athlete and continue to progress in my career, and it's been pretty good. 2018 was a pretty solid year. Didn't have a breakthrough or anything like that, but consistent training has been good so far.
So what's 2019 have in store?
2019, hopefully, get back and just continue to progress as an athlete, and really hopefully break through in either a 5K or 10K on the track. I'd like to set my goals high for those two events, and I'm really happy to be back training with Aaron. That he's back healthy and everything, just keep going and keep running strong.
Okay, very good. In 2019, what's in store?
So I just recently qualified for the 1,000-meter USAs in indoors, and that was a big goal of mine.
Woohoo!
Want to do that both in indoors and outdoors, so moving forward, love to do that for outdoors as well. And another big goal of mine is breaking 4. Came very close at the end of 2018, just missed it, but that's kept me motivated kind of moving forward.
So 1,000, you're kind of a speed demon, huh?
Yeah, more than, mid-distance crowd, yeah.
So, we talk, it's funny, are you going to eventually, at some point, are we going to see you doing 5Ks and 10Ks down the road when you get into your 30s and you start vlogging those miles? Or do you really like, again, that shorter distance in the speed?
I do. I really like that shorter distance. I definitely think, someday I'll move up. Maybe half marathons, who knows, but for now I like the short speed, so.
Well, talk a little bit, as we talk about the involvement with the schools and with the kids, especially young folks who might not have been exposed to track and field, and as Nick was saying, Woonsocket having the middle school sports program cut, There's clearly going to be some kids who probably are more inclined to running and think they're fast. And then there's also some ones that might be a little daunted as to what track and field might entail. So talk with us about what you see from kids who express interest and how you help nurture it, because track and running is one of, if not the most difficult sports when it comes down to it. And dealing with young folks and trying to encourage them to pursue their passions. Talk a little bit about what you see at the youth level.
Yeah, I'm sure Brian can speak for the same thing for his team. But what we've seen is just kids coming out of cross country. A lot of it is just learning to compete, learning what running is. We'll have students that will do a hill sprint and they'll say, why am I breathing so hard? And it's like, well, you just ran uphill. That's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time you have these kids that are just very raw, just haven't experienced organized sports. But what we see, the biggest thing is that 6th graders that stay all the way through middle school to 8th grade, by the end of their 8th grade year, they're just miles ahead. And it's just great to see their progression. And like you said, a lot of them do think they're the fastest ones out there. So when track comes around, they're really excited to show their stuff and show their speed.
Well, I'm sure they try to want to give Brian a little run for his money there. Speedster. What do you see with the kids?
Even from day one, like just from sign-ups, they don't even know what cross country is. We describe to them how it's running and racing, and then they start to learn. So even from the very beginning, it's cool and very eye-opening to see kids that not only would they not have been in the sport, but they had no idea what it was in the first place. So just beginning with kids like that and then taking them and trying to get them, more familiar with training and stuff like that, it's an awesome experience.
And as I've spoken with some of your teammates before too, what does it mean to be on the team and to have, again, support from the community to enable, again, you to pursue your passion and your goals out there running, and then support the community at the same time?
Yeah, I think Aaron said it really well, just how rigorous a training as a professional athlete can be, and having a support group is just so special and so nice to have here. From performance physical therapy to our teammates and our great coaches, Bob and Kurt and Nick as the founder as well. Just having everyone kind of together with that one mindset that the group is going to succeed is really important, and it makes for a good team setting.
Brian, anything you want to share with viewers while we have you here?
Just that it's an awesome, any distance is very unique, one of a kind, and that's kind of the reason that we joined. And we've kind of formed our own running mecca here in Providence, along with a couple other groups. And
it is a mecca.
Awesome. Yeah.
No two ways about it. As Nick Haber said, Providence, Rhode Island, punching way above its weight for being the smallest state in the union, having some of the best runners who give back to the community through New England Distance. So Henry Sterling and Brian Crimmins, thank you so much for finishing up this New England Distance segment here on Go Local Live. That just about wraps up another week here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Of course, be sure to check in with Go Local Prov. Find us on Facebook throughout the weekend. Go Local Prov CEO Josh Fenton will be back on Monday for Business Monday. We look forward to seeing you. I'm Go Local News Editor Kate Nagel.